Sample. I could be the CEO just like a Robin Fenton. And I'ma be there for you cause you on my team, girl. Don't ever think you ain't hell of these niggas' dream, girl. They wanna put us against each other when we succeed. And for no reasons, they wanna see us end up like we Regina or Mean Girl. Princess, queen, tomboy, a king. You've heard a lot you've never seen. Mother Earth, Mother Mary, rise to the top. Divine feminine, I'm feminine. Woman, let me be a woman. Woman, woman, woman. I can be a woman. Woman, woman, woman. Let me be a woman. Woman, woman, woman. I can be a woman. Woman, woman, woman.
We'll start in the next couple of minutes. Just keep sending out the link and let's see who we can get on. I know we got that DCX training that's going on right now, so I know not everybody's gonna be here, but that's okay.
I got a man, but I want you. I got a man, but I want you. And it's just love, it's just deep. Make me think about someone new. You know, got so much to say. I try to hide it in my face, and it don't work. You see through. Yeah, I just wanna deal with you, and you're right. You're right. I got my guy, but I can't help it. I want you. Say you right. I got my guy, but I can't help it. I want you. I can't stop and look the other way, cause I know it could be, babe. Ain't never felt the same. You be thinking about it every day. Don't believe in fairy tales, but we got our fantasies. And it's me and you will see. Tryna be up through your seas. Have you ever felt me? Acting like it's not that deep. Boy, you can take it out on me. Tell me what it's about to be. Really feel this melody. I can't tell no one. I got a man, but I want you. I got a man, but I want you. And it's just nerves, it's just deep. Making me think about someone new. You know I got so much to say. I try to hide it in my face, and it don't work. You see through that. I just wanna get with you, and you're right. You're right. I got my girl, but I can't help it. I want you. Say you're right. I got my guy, but I can't help it. I want you. I got a man, but I want you. And it's just love, it's just deep. Making me think about someone new. You know I got so much to say. I try to hide it in my face, and it don't work. You see through that. I just wanna get with you. And you're right. You're right. I got my guy, but I can't help it. I want you. Say you're right. I got my guy, but I can't help it. I want you.
Hello, my ladies. Good evening. You know what? I gotta be honest. I gotta say, sometimes this is all we need, okay? This is all we need because sometimes when we have something to share or when we have something in mind to share, sometimes it's just directly to specific people. And whoever is here right now is meant to be here right now. So I know there's a lot going on outside of this mom's call, but listen, whoever I don't think anybody from the moms group is getting on. I see there's really nobody online in the moms group. So whoever is here right now, I'm super grateful to have you. I want to go ahead and have you just first off start with gratitude. So just drop something you're grateful for, even if it's one thing, two thing, three things, four, five, ten, because y'all know I'm always grateful. But thank you all for taking the time. Thank you for being here. Cherokee's gonna bring massive value today. But before we continue, I want to just go ahead and put something into perspective tonight. So God is not going to give us any weight that we cannot handle. We're mothers, we're supernatural, and that's what we do. We're built and we're meant to do so much more than what we already do. We are supernatural, we are divine, we are beautiful, we are sexy, we are powerful. Listen, I can go ahead and write a whole list on my wall. So make sure you stay tight with God if this is something, of course, if this is your belief. Oh, sorry, or anything that you want to reconnect with, even if it's just yourself. Sometimes we just forget about us. Remember to tell yourself, I am beautiful, I'm strong, I'm divine, and just kill the day. Sometimes we're going to feel like we just can't no more. Sometimes our kids are going to drive us crazy. Sometimes the day is just going to attack us, but let's go ahead and lift ourselves because we are built for this, okay? So stay strong, ladies. I'm gonna pass it over to our beautiful Cherokee. She always brings massive value. You know that she is always ready. You know she is always coachable. You know she is always ready to go no matter what. So please have a notebook. Please have a pencil because she's about to come on and give you value. So thank you, ladies, again. I'm gonna pass it over.
Wow, look at that edification, y'all. Drop some sevens in the chat for Tatiana, okay? Because we're working on some skill sets here, and she's doing a fantastic job, okay? It is not easy. So I'm actually super grateful for everyone that is here, and I'm happy that Tatiana started talking about God. And we're gonna respect everyone's beliefs and faiths here, right? At the same time, I'm going to share some Zephaniah, I can't help you right now. You're gonna have to deal with it. So we're I wanted to share some things that I have been learning about, faith and things that I've read in the Bible. And recently, which is interesting enough, I just feel like I'm seeing God more than I did before. And oh, y'all, I didn't even introduce myself. I mean, y'all know me, but I'm also live on Facebook at the same time. So I'm working on some things here, y'all. Hey, I'm Cherokee. I am one of the platinum leaders within I Am Mastery Academy. This is our Mommy Mindset call that we host every Tuesday, 9:15 Eastern Standard Time. We are here to just grow together, learn new things, and become better and work on things that we know we need to work on, and just continue to grow, right? So, like I was saying, y'all, let me not lose my train of thought. I feel like I've been seeing God more lately, right? And I actually got saved in 2015. I got saved in church, and church is not a place that I always go to, but I realized that as long as I have my own relationship with God or with my higher power, then that's all I need, right? So I feel like recently he's just been showing up a lot, whether it's on social media, through other people. Like everyone is talking a lot more about growing in their spirituality, growing in their faith. And it's kind of like amazing to see, especially with knowing the stories of, the times where there wasn't a Bible, and, the stories were actually being told and written and lived in, that people were not into faith. They weren't into a higher power or anything like that. So it's just interesting that I'm hearing more and more about it. And I'm like, you know what? He just needs to be talked about more. 2022 is not just the year of double blessings or double, it's really more of the year of us growing within our faith and within our spirituality. And I'm here for it, y'all. I'm so here for it. So I wanted to really talk today about vision and staying true and faithful to your vision, because we're starting not just the new year, but we start every single day, and we have to make sure that we continue to stay faithful to the vision that God gave us. And sometimes we find that hard, where especially us being mothers, we have so much to do within our days that we just find certain things difficult to do. We're like, I have this going on and I have people pulling me here and there, that I can't focus on the goals that I set for myself, for the vision that God gave me. I can't do that right now. And I want to help encourage you guys to, yes, you have to take care of your priorities, but you have to take care of yourself and your vision first. And that's not just from me, that's from God, because he gives you the vision. He gives you the work that you need to do. And he's telling you to find a way to make it happen, regardless of everything else external. So with that being said, there's actually a couple of scriptures that I want to talk about that talk about vision, right? That help us with our vision. Because like I said, it comes from him. So the first one that I'm going to say, hold on, let me turn off this TV because I feel like I can't even hear myself talk with other people talking in the background. All right, I'm back. Okay. So this one is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." So when I saw this scripture, right? When I saw this, and it really made me think about when you joined this academy, right? When this opportunity was presented to you, it was presented to you in a way that it made you think bigger than what you were before. It made you think about the actual possibilities in your life. And, a lot of us may have wanted things that were big in our life, right? But we never actually thought that it could be us. And we kind of just accepted that. Oh, I didn't come from a great family, so there's no way that I could be successful. Or I'm still in this, messed up environment. There's no way that I can make things happen. There's no way that I can change. There's no way that God is going to give me everything that I need. It's Jeremiah 29:11. And that vision that we had, right? Or even from before we joined, before we had other people pour into us and tell us, hey, your vision is real. You can accomplish it. It came from God. God gave us the vision for a very big reason. Now it's up to us to make the work happen, not only within the spirit of ourselves, but within the flesh, with the work that we do every single day, the time and the hours that we put in, whether it's learning the skill of trading or whether it's building. Real quick, drop in the chat. What is something, which one are you focusing on? Are you a trader or are you a builder? If you're a trader, drop a 1. If you're a builder, drop a 2. If you do both, drop both. So I know who I'm talking to, because everybody's goals are different. You may not want to be a builder, because that's just not for you. But you're like, damn, I really want to learn how to trade. This is something that I want to master. This skill set is awesome, right? So I see some both trading. All right, so we have people here. Most of us do both. Which is cool. I myself, I do both. I'm gonna drop a both in the chat. But it doesn't matter which skill set you're working on the most, whether it's trading or building. You're working on something that is going to create a better future for you, because that's your vision. And I want us to continue to build towards that vision. Every day is gonna be hard. But there's a reason why we have those obstacles, so that we can get over them, so we can learn something new that we didn't know before. not so that we could get stuck, not so that we can, wallow in self-pity, because sometimes we do that shit too. We start to feel real bad for ourselves, and we don't pick ourselves back up, and no one is going to come to rescue us. No one. God is going to be there for us, but he can't pick you up every time you fall, because you have to learn the lessons, because you have to get through it. Jesus himself, he went through a lot of crazy stuff. He was beat on, he was spit on. They murdered the man just for God to raise him 3 days later. So right now you may be feeling like you're going through certain things. You're being beat on, maybe not in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense, in the mental sense, in the emotional sense. You're being beat on, you're being spit on. The people around you don't believe in you. And you're like, when am I going to feel better? When is someone going to believe in me? When is somebody going to pour into me? It has to be you first. It has to be you first, because God already gave you the vision. He already gave you the hope for your future. He gave that to you. Now, what are you going to do with it? So, yeah, that brings me to my next one. I got three of them, three big ones. And I was like, damn, this is good. Wow, it really talks about what I was literally just talking about. So this one is Acts, ACTS, Acts 18. Oh, hold on. 18, 9 to 11, or 9 and 10. Okay. So in the Bible, the story that happened before this particular part, Paul is in a city, right, where he's teaching about the word of God. And he is going through it. A lot of people are like, I don't believe what you're saying. There's not a Lord. There's not a higher power. You're bugging, and you need to leave our city. Yeah, Marsha, I said that. You're bugging. Yo, because that's, you guys, I'm not a pastor or nothing, so I'm not gonna speak like I'm up there. I'm gonna talk to you guys how I talk. This is it. And there's churches out there that talk like this too. I done been to a couple. So, they're like, you gotta get away from here. So Paul leaves and he goes to like the next town over, and he finds people who believe in the word of God. They're willing to listen to him. But because of what was happening in that last town, people started to abuse him. He was unsure of continuing to spread the word of God because of what happened. And that happens to us a lot when we share our ideals, right? And we share our vision, and people, talk down to us. It's harder for us to get back up and continue to be like, do I want to share this blessing with someone else? Or are they going to treat me the same way someone else already treated me? So a lot of the time, we just don't do it. We don't share the blessing with nobody because we're so scared. And the scripture says, do not be afraid. Keep on speaking. Do not be silent. For I am with you, and no one is going to attack and harm you, because I have many people in this city. And that last part, I have many people in this city, reminds me of the fact that, look at this big community of people that we have who are willing to cheer us on, and we're able to share our visions with, and no one is going to tell us your vision is crazy. You're bugging. You can't do that. There's no way. Or when we go out and we prospect for the business, and we tell other people about the vision that the company has and what's so great about it, and they're like, nope. You've heard many times, there are 7 billion people in this world. Someone is going to listen to your vision. There are many people in this world who want to hear your vision, who are going to rock alongside you, who are going to go up with you. So don't be too worried when certain things happen and you feel like you're getting beat up, or you feel like nothing is going to go great for you, because God is letting you know that there's a reason why he gave you this vision. There's a reason why you became part of a community like this. Yo, we are part of Next Level Big Faith. What? I have seen organizations and different companies like this that, they're great people, but they don't lead with faith or with integrity. And I remember wanting to be part of a group of people that, yes, we're all working towards wealth and we're all working towards generational, breaking generational curses. That's great. But I needed to find people that were going to uplift me in the spiritual sense as well. Because it doesn't matter how much money you actually have. There's people out there who make a lot of money and are miserable in life because they're not developed spiritually. They're not developed emotionally. They're not developed mentally. So there's nothing that money does for them. So we want more money, like I said, but we need to make sure that we're always growing. While our pockets are growing, that our spiritual is growing, that our mental is growing, that our emotional is becoming more stable. All right, y'all. Next one. This one is long, but it's all good. This one is in Ephesians. It's going to be 16 to 21. All right. So this one says, I pray that out of his glorious riches, he may strengthen you with power through his spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And I pray that you, being rooted and established in love, may have power together with all the saints to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know that this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us, to him be glory in the church and in Christ Jesus throughout all generations, forever and ever. Now, this one reminded me that we are God's highest form of creation, that he made us in his image. So in those times where you're feeling like you cannot do something, you have to remind yourself and you have to say, I am God's highest form of creation. There is nothing that I cannot do. The chapter was Ephesians. Hold on, my bad. Haha. Ephesians chapter 3, verses 16 to 21. Thank you. So I spoke on last call about how, oh y'all, I lost my train of thought. Hold up. Oh, okay. I spoke on last call about how sometimes we question how much we can actually do, because when we think of, God making us in his image, we think very low of ourselves compared to the work that he has done. We think, well, I'm not sure if I can create because I don't have the power to create an earth. I don't have the power to create the moon, the stars, or other countries. I don't have the power to create life like animals and fruits and stuff like that, right? And to that, I said, that wasn't the job that he needed you to have. That is the only reason why we can't create on a scale like that. because when he created every single one of us before we were here, when he created every single one of our children before they came here, the people who created us, he had a specific job for every single person. So that's something that I want you to remember as well. When you have that doubt that creeps in, that, oh, I don't think I can do this because I can't create like God. Yes, you can. We create our words every day. We create our habits every day. We create the influence that we give out to other people. And that is what makes the world go round. It's not, you know, who has the most followers on social media, who has the most money. That's not what makes the world go round. It's the amount of influence that you have. It's the habits that you're creating, not only for you, but for your generations to come. Because generational habits is a thing. Even though I don't know my ancestors or even my great grandparents, there are things that they did that are within their habits, within their spirits, that have carried on into the generations that created me. Real quick, this is funny. Does anybody here have like a high alcohol tolerance, or even when if you've ever indulged in, like smoking marijuana, have a high tolerance for that, even from the first time that you indulged and it was kind of weird?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all, for my very first drink, my very first night out, like clubs with my girlfriends, I drank so much I should have blacked out, and I didn't. And that comes from the generations before us. My father is an alcoholic. His mother is an alcoholic. Her father was an alcoholic. So even though I had never had a drink, within my generations, within that spirit, I already have a high tolerance for alcohol because of the generations before me. So that is why it is important that we stick to healthy habits, no matter what they are. Not just about drinking, not just about smoking, but with eating, with spiritual growth, with personal development. Those habits will carry on into the generations that come after us. And it is now our responsibility, because we are alive and well. We can't help what has been passed down to us, but we can help what's going to be passed down to the next generations to come. And I'm glad that I wasn't the only one that had a high tolerance for something, because y'all, when I realized that, I was like, yo, this is wild. Like, why am I not lit like that? Everybody else around me mad lit, and I'm sitting here like, who want another shot? Like, what? Crazy. So those are the scriptures that I had laid out for you guys today, that I really hope you guys take into consideration, even if this is not the faith that you follow. I hope that you got something from that, because whatever you believe in, there is some type of higher power that is at work, that is doing something within all of our lives. And we need to harness the power that we have. We need to make sure that we're standing in who we want to be, all that we want to be, because we're the only ones that can do it. And ladies, y'all brought life into this world. That is not as simple as it may seem. It was easy for us to get pregnant, right? the 9-10 months flew by, and now we're here raising these little lives. And there's people out there that they're waiting years for that to happen to them. They're waiting for their opportunity to bring a life into the world. And here we are, we're like, shoot, girl, you shouldn't do it. Don't do it. I don't do it. Don't have no kids. I done told some people that. I'm like, you don't want them yet. Don't. It ain't all that it's cracked up to be. But we love our little bundles of joy, right? We do anything for them. And that's one thing that I want to touch on before I let you guys go, is when you're focused on your vision, and you're focused on creating something big, you have to let go of certain types of instant gratifications. The holidays just passed. And I know a lot of people who, in this business, out this business, who spent a lot of money buying Christmas gifts for their kids because they wanted to see that smile. They wanted to see the, oh my gosh, thank you so mom, so much, mom. This is what I wanted. And if you want to create real wealth, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And sometimes it may be Christmas. It may be birthdays, because you wanted to grow your trading account. You wanted to grow your investing account, but you're pulling out profits that you don't even have, or you're spending money that you don't even have because you want to see them smile. And as moms, it's not just mom guilt that we develop. We develop what's called a debtor's ethic. My son is 3 years old, so he doesn't know what a birthday is. He doesn't know what a Christmas is, right? Like, he knows because he sees it on cartoons or he sees decorations and stuff. But if I decided to skip those things, he's not going to know that time is here. And I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. I skipped Christmas this year, and I almost skipped his birthday this year because I didn't have it like that. And because I wanted to, invest more into my future. It was hard, and I felt like shit for a little bit about it. But I have to realize the bigger picture. If I make that sacrifice right now, the things I'm going to be able to provide for him in his future are going to be so much greater. And when I allow myself to think about it that way, I have to, it puts my mind at ease, because I'm not like, oh my God, he missed the birthday. Oh my God, I missed Christmas. Because me missing Christmas, me missing that birthday is going to be able to, in the future, this is how I see it. I'm going to be able to afford his college tuition. I'm going to be able to afford to give him a trust fund. I'm going to be able to afford to pay for private school or private tutoring if I need to. Because me personally, my parents didn't leave me any funds. I didn't have a college fund. I couldn't go to the college that I wanted to because it was too expensive. It didn't matter how great my school grades were. A lot of scholarships weren't afforded to me because of the color of my skin. I know I'm light skinned, but literally because of the color of my skin, certain teachers didn't look my way. Because I come from an urban family, certain teachers didn't look my way to help me out with certain scholarship programs. So I couldn't get into places that I wanted to. And I don't want that same for my son. So I have to really look at how I spend my money. I can't rely on, well, I want him to be happy and I want him to say, thank you, mom. He says, thank you, mom, when I feed him food. He says, thank you, mom, when I spend time with him. He says, thank you, mom, when I teach him something new. And that is so much more valuable to me than that instant gratification on those days that we have been made to feel like are so important. I don't want to be stuck in that consumer mindset, and I don't want you guys to be stuck in that consumer mindset, because people think that that buying your kids this, that, and the third, designer clothes even, is what you're supposed to be doing. That is not giving your child what you didn't have. Giving your child what you didn't have is more so tied to life experiences. What can you do for them in the future that you don't have right now, or that wasn't afforded to you? So don't be so hard on yourselves when you have to skip certain things, or when you're not sure how you're going to find the money to celebrate certain stuff, because it's not as important as other people have made it seem to you. And when you make those decisions, stand firm on that decision. Like, look, I had to do what I had to do because my vision is bigger, because God said something else is waiting for us. I'm not going to please anyone else's mindset. on what they think is supposed to be right for my kids. So, y'all, that's it for me today. Drop an 8 if you got some value from me today, if you learned something different, if you're going to be applying something different into your life, because I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. I'm telling y'all, I was like, these calls come sometimes, I'm like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna say today. But I allow God to work through me too. So I be having my own conversations with him. I'm like, Lord, tell me something. Show me something that is worth talking about. Because I'm not just gonna sit up here and like lollygag. That's not what I'm gonna do. We're gonna talk about some real stuff, and we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna grow together. That's the purpose of these calls. That's why we do them every week, because we need to have a place for us. We have great, phenomenal leaders that run amazing calls, but this space is for us. It's for every single one of you here. And I don't want you guys to ever forget that. Okay? So, as I close out, just drop love and your last name, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.